have gone the full 200 feet. And the first guy to do it is the first guy up in the pull-off, the Blazing Bison, Steve Jafski behind the wheel.
Steve Jafski buckles in, and here's a young man that's really a tough competitor. He and his father read a track about as well as anyone in the country.
Well, he was the first one tonight to go the full 200 feet. He's hooked up, visor down, waiting for the green flag. He's got it.
Sled is much heavier this time around. They're going to try to stop it.
Pull.
Unbelievable pull, and he had to get on that left brake. There is no way in the world that he could have made that pass unless he was on the left brake.
In the pull-off, the first pull in the pull-off, Steve Jafski, 190 feet, 3 3/4 inches. And there is Steve.
And his father, Bud. And they're studying the track, seeing what the tractor did, what kind of mark it laid down, what it did, and they'll go over all of this so that at a later date they get on another track like this, they'll know what to do.
Bill Leichter, Weldon, Illinois, had the full pull earlier, now in the pull-off with those 3 572 Aries engines.
Bill running the right-hand side of the track. Let's see if it works for him this time around. Mark to beat, 190 feet, 3 3/4 laid down by the Jafskis, and they were on the brakes pretty hard.
Little different strategy, as Mike said, right-hand side of the track. Most of the other drivers have been working the other side. He's got the green flag, and he's on his way. Drift at the end.
Good pass for Bill. Excellent hook all the way around. He studied the track well. I think he made a wise decision at the time he went to the sled to run that right-hand side of the track. Looks like it may have proved very successful for him. Easing on it. Now opens the throttles up. The tires begin to grow a little bit, trying to get that kind of tire speed out, front end up in the air. The motor's working the max that they possibly can, and Bill's on for a fine ride. Good balance on the tractor, just about right. Drifts off a little bit. It'll come across track now, trying to gain all the momentum he can for that last right on the end of it, trying to get it out.
Well, the mark to beat was 190 feet, 3 3/4 inches. That's what the Blazing Bison had, but the Dirt Slinger comes up almost 10 feet short. 180 feet, 4 inches for the Dirt Slinger in the pull-off. Next up is mighty Milton Bergman. Had the full pull earlier, qualifies for the pull-off with Rambunctious, new and improved Rambunctious. In fact, they had to wheel him out here a little while ago and refuel.
Milt, very strong, very concentrating on what to do.
He's looking at one thing, and that's the end of that track.
Right now, he can do it.
Here he goes, new and improved Rambunctious. Going to be close. Going to be real close. The mark he had to beat was 193 3/4. Looked pretty good up until that 150-foot mark, and then it kind of died on him.
That's when the box topped out, was hanging light on top of it, and all the weight in the world is glued to the back of that tractor.
As we look at this again, I don't think people realize how much rattling there's going on that seat. He's fighting the force as well as the track.
The clutches are hooking up, motors are hooked, the tires are spinning hard, all the vibration and the shaking inside of the front end is up in the air. And notice Milt leaning into that throttle with the right hand, really trying to hold on for all he's worth, trying to get the last inch out of it. And this a game of 1/4 of an inch. Milt Bergman is driving for the force. He needs to go 190 feet, 3 3/4 of an inch. And there's where the big weight transfer machine puts the stop to him tonight.
Mark to beat was 193 3/4, and for Milt Bergman tonight in the pull-off, not quite enough, 168 feet and 9 inches. Well, if somebody is going to beat Steve Jafski, it's got to be Art Arfons, the Green Monster. Last man up, waiting for the green flag.
Well, his first pull, he had more ground speed, took the sled out much easier than Steve did originally. But right now, the situation, the track's been tore up. Can he get up on top of the track the way he did the first time? And if he gets up on top of it, does he have the horsepower to go all the way out the end? It's possible.
With more weight, too.
Much more weight, the box coming up a lot quicker. It'll really be tough.
Smoke is coming up. Flames follow. Arfons has got the green flag. It's at his discretion. Look at that.
Actually has 2 minutes from the time the green flag is given to the time he must leave with the sled. Of course, these pullers are not waiting around near that long. There's a little fire in the hole.
And the flash tubes go off as Arfons goes down the track.
High in the front end, hard to the left. Let's see if he can bring it around. Keeps it in bounds. Looks like he's got one sized up tonight.
That could be it. That could be it.
Very good pass for Art Arfons, and if anything, he has definitely put the pressure on Steve Jafski. He noticed the movement with the hands. He calls for a pull-off tractor. The big turbines got a little heat in them. That'll be all of them for the night. Tires are really gaining a lot of speed. He's on the ground for about the first 50 feet. Then he hooks up hard. The front end sticks right up in the air, and Art goes to the left-hand side of the track. And when he does that, touches a little bit, and I think that probably saved him from going out of bounds. But the front end is back up in the air. He rides the sideline. Left-hand side, once again, has proved very successful for all the pullers, and Arfons does a tremendous job.
Art Arfons had to beat 190 feet 3 3/4 inches. Art Arfons in the pull-off tonight in the Green Monster. How close can you get? 189 feet 10 1/2 inches. And the winner in the pull-off is that man on that machine, Steve Jafski in the Blazing Bison. He goes home to Wisconsin, the winner in the modified tractor competition tonight. You know, if you're like me, you sit here and you wonder what Mike Gallaway is talking about half the time. I hear these terms flying out. Well, we thought we could put together maybe a glossary of Mike Gallaway's truck pull terms. First up is hole shot. Okay, Big Shot, what's hole shot?
Well, it's not a game of pool. It's how the competitor leads with the sled, whether he or she needs to lead real hard or real easy. Hole shot is very important in the world of pulling.
All right. I suppose the next one we want to do is tall gear. Tall gear. What would that be?
A tall gear is in reference to how you have the truck or the tractor set up for track conditions. If by any chance that the track conditions where you need to turn a smaller tire or to slow the tires down, you wouldn't run a tall gear. You want 100-mile-an-hour tire speed in a tractor class, you're definitely going to run a tall gear.
And if you're parallel parking, it'll be small gear, I guess, then, right? Okay. Next up, we have big end. I don't even want to get into what that means.
Well, it's definitely reference to pulling.
Oh,
Ken.
Thank goodness.
Big end is the far end of the track. You start out at the starting line, the 50-foot, the 100-foot, the 150, and in this case, the big end is going to be the 200-foot mark, where it went sour, where you got power, whether it's on the big end, and this is a term in reference to the finish line area.
Crunch bunch.
Reference to one group of people, the monster truck.
Oh, okay. They mean business. And finally, we have Bubba.
Bubba?
Bubba.
The common term for all pullers.
Now, wait a minute. You call everybody Bubba?
Basically, we travel all the time together, and everyone becomes Bubba.
I got you. So, in other words, trying to remember names may not work sometimes, and why not call him Bubba?
Well, it also helps in a number of ways. In case one of you got in trouble that night, it was always Bubba.
Bubba, right. Bubba made me do it.